Yeah, it's been it's been a good week of work. The players have certainly worked hard the entire week. The messaging has been we have to get back to work. We have to prepare for Birmingham. The mentality of the group has been excellent, and so far so good.
I mean, has it been a distraction at all? Like, trying to tune out everything that's going on, or has it been pretty good?
No, listen, we have an unbelievable group of players in there, right? It's tight knit. They understand that at the end of the day, we have a job to do this weekend. I wouldn't say there's been a distraction whatsoever. At the end of the day, they've come out to work to get better and implement, our ideas. And it's certainly been a good week so far.
What was your reaction when you found out?
Yeah, ultimately my reaction was what I said to the press, which is I have a responsibility to those players in the locker room and to the club to give everything that I can every single day for that group. Ultimately, the goal here is for us to continue the success. The goal here is to win a championship. That expectation doesn't change here at LouCity, whether it's me or somebody else in the seat. So those players in there understand that expectation. And so far they've come out every single day and done what I expect, which is giving me everything that they have. As the manager of this group, I can only look forward, and that's what we've tried to do.
Danny, was there kind of a day or two of shock, and did it help that you had an off week as far as games go?
Listen, I wouldn't say, as far from a shock standpoint, I've been in this game for a really long time. Things happen, and ultimately you remind yourself you have a job to do. So what did I do that evening? I started to prepare. And the players came to work the next day and looked to get better. We've obviously had a lot of discussions, and ultimately the collective messaging is we have to move forward. We have to look towards Birmingham and every opponent from there on out. So we're taking it 1 week at a time. The players have responded the exact way that I would expect, and it's so far so good.
Does it help that you've got the veteran group of guys in a group that essentially had to coach themselves for a while when they've lost a coach a few years ago?
Yeah, well, I think it kind of shows where the organization is now, right? So we have a lot of pieces in place that when something like this happens, the understanding is you have to do the right thing the next day and prepare for the opponent. And so far, the group has responded exactly as I would expect. So it's been a process. The players understanding my role, but ultimately that's a professional group in there. It's an experienced group. They understand collectively the expectation here, and that hasn't changed a bit at training.
Danny, can you tell us sort of what happened?
No, listen. At the end of the day, what I can do now is prepare these guys moving forward. And in that locker room, the players understand the expectation. I know I've said it over and over again, but that's the message to the group, right? And the reality is these things happen in pro sports, and we have a job to do.
Has John reached out to you at all? Have you guys talked since?
Yeah, listen, John's a mentor of mine. He's a friend. Always will be. We have an unbelievable relationship, and ultimately, I'm here because of some decisions that he made. So at the end of the day, we try to make sure that we take care of this group, right? And for this club, for these fans, we continue to have success.
Danny, I'm sure this is not how you envisioned getting a head coaching opportunity, but how long have you been thinking about having a position like this? And I guess what does it mean to you to be here now and have that opportunity?
Yeah, I'm excited about the opportunity, right? Ultimately, with these guys at this club, I understand the expectation here. I understand the success that was here before I got here and when we got here, right? And so I take that to heart, and I understand the responsibility. So ultimately, how I got here is irrelevant in where I'm at, but it's how do I take this group forward, and that's what I'm going to try to do every single day.
Do you view this as maybe like an audition, in terms of trying to prove that, you can be capable?
Yeah, it's an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity for myself. These players every single day, for their own futures, have to come out and give us the best that they can, right? And so I certainly look at it as an opportunity. I've felt nothing but support from ownership, from the staff beneath them. And so at this point, we need to move forward and we need to prepare from Birmingham, and that's what we've already started to do.
Can you tell us a little bit about Birmingham? Maybe give us a little bit of look ahead of what to maybe expect on Saturday as well get after the pitch?
Yeah, listen, they've built a really strong roster. They played this weekend against Indy. Obviously, watched that game. It was a tough game to watch with the field conditions, but we got a lot of good film on them. It's a good group that's dynamic in the attack, so we'll be prepared for it.
How do you think, has anything stood out about them about how they can maybe test you all with their offensive capabilities that you spoke of?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of dangerous pieces up high. They're going to have two pieces that are not going to play against us because they're going to be suspended in Junior Flemings and J.J. Williams. They still have Nico Brett. They have Mikey Lopez. They have a group that's experienced as well in this league and in other leagues. So we continue to look at the film, make sure the players are prepared, and then we go from there.
Is there more pressure on you now, knowing you're going to be the guy standing up on the sideline right there and making those big decisions?
No, it's the same pressure, right? Ultimately, we have to win, and so the pressure's the same. And listen, I've been in this business long enough to know what that pressures are, those pressures are. So ultimately, have to win the game, and we have to continue to have the success that we have had here since I got here and before.
Do you believe you will be implementing kind of a similar system or keeping the same thing, or is there, I guess, any changes that you want to try and meet your requirements as well?
When we built this roster, we understand with this group that there's going to be flexibility, right? There's going to be the ability to play in multiple systems, and we've prepared the group for that as well, right? We played in 4 systems in preseason for these moments, right? So the guys, I would say, are comfortable in any one of those systems that I decide to put out, and we'll look towards Birmingham and try to make sure that we put the system best out there to win the game.
You're someone who's been in the sport a long time. Do you think of another situation that's comparable to this that you've experienced, where you've already got a regular season game under your belt, and then this kind of major change just comes what seems to be out of nowhere?
Listen, I dealt with a similar situation when I was at Real Salt Lake. So this isn't uncommon in this industry. It happens in pro sports, and the people that are here now, the responsibility is to continue to win. And it was the same when I was at Salt Lake.